This episode of PromoAM is brought to you by Promo Show, a virtual event platform powered by Promo Corner. Looking to host a private event? Promo Show has you covered. From planning to hosting to tech support. Contact sales at promoshow.com and let the planning begin.
Good morning and welcome to PromoAM. I'm your morning anchor, Amelia Model, and joining me today is none other than Laurie Moore. Hey, Laurie.
Hey, Amelia.
Welcome. This is your second time.
It is my second time.
Yeah, I had to go back and look because I couldn't remember how long it'd been. Laurie, for anyone that doesn't know, and I don't know why someone wouldn't know, but Laurie is our Director of Client Relations and most importantly, our CFO, which is our Chief Fun Officer at Promo Corner. And Laurie actually attended an in-person event where Promo Show took it hybrid. So I'm going to have you explain to people what exactly that means. How are you in person and hybrid at the same time and how the event ran?
The event was amazing. We had no idea how it was going to run going into it. We were in talks with NEPA. They wanted to try to bring the show to the people that weren't going to be able to be there. So we put together a plan. We put together a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C because we had no idea if it would work. And NEPA was very understanding of that. And they, we figured, in a perfect world, our plan looked amazing and we thought it would work, but having never done it before, you just never know. So we went through everything. We tested mics, we tested cameras, we tested lighting, we tested inside ballrooms, outside ballrooms, every possible scenario that we could possibly test. We tried to test and everything was working pretty well. So we crossed our fingers and we just went with it. And the amazing part was that we had suppliers who were really excited about it. So I think having been on camera all year long, or for the past 2 years almost, a lot of them were very comfortable going on camera. There were still a few that, I think were signed up by their coworkers or their bosses and weren't, super excited about it, but they did a wonderful job. So we had 10 suppliers who paid for hybrid spots and we went live with them from the show floor throughout the day, and they get to highlight their product lines and any special new products they had, pretty much anything. And it was great.
Yeah. So if anybody missed it, you can go back actually to Promo Corner's Facebook page because they were live. So I guess I'll explain that. So you went to the NEPA event and then you said that the suppliers signed up ahead of time. And when they were interviewed, they actually went live on Promo Corner's Facebook and NEPA's Facebook, I believe. Is that correct?
So yes, that was the plan. We were going to go live from Promo Corner and from NEPA's. We ran into a glitch with NEPA's passwords and getting access to their Facebook account. So we did only go live on Promo Corner's Facebook page, but then NEPA shared everything to their Facebook page.
With theirs. Awesome.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. So Laurie was like a news reporter. She was out and about on the streets, hitting the beat. You had your, I call it your Price is Right microphone. You had your little microphone that you'd go out and you'd introduce, and then the suppliers got to showcase their booth because you were doing the filming and then talk about it. And it was awesome for anybody watching it. Seamless. I'm sure, I know behind the scenes, you're always sweating like, oh, please let this go. Please let this go. But
there were definitely some things so we were using AirPods originally for our audio and for our mic. And what we discovered was that reverb that you get in your head was really loud, and trying to string together a coherent sentence as you're hearing yourself is really difficult. So we were afraid that if we put those in the supplier's ears and then asked them to talk, that it was going to be a mess. So we ended up having to kind of go with a plan B. So plan B was using the external mic, but we needed some sort of a stick for it, which we didn't have because that wasn't our original plan. So I broke a coat hanger. I took a piece of the plastic. I took all of the cord and I wrapped it around and then attached it at the bottom. So it actually looked fairly professional.
It
and that
did.
was
I
a-
wondered where you got it. I was like, I don't have one of those. Where do I order it? So
Yeah, see, that was kind of the more time offline coming out.
I was going to say, Laurie does double duty. So she also has a weekly program called More Time Offline that airs on Saturdays, where she gives you hacks and home decorations and tricks. So that is definitely a hack that we need to know more about.
Yeah, create your own
Yeah.
microphone.
So the reception of the suppliers doing it, and were you able to see any feedback from distributors that were watching virtually or from a hybrid? Did NEPA get any feedback on that after it was? Because it happened last week.
Right. So the neat part was during the show, it really attracted a lot of attention for the supplier booths. So as we were, walking around, we have the tripod with the camera and the microphone, and we're getting the whole scene set up, and everybody starts looking like, what are you guys doing? And then they see a microphone and a light go on. And so it was definitely an attention grabber, which was great. So distributors would kind of gather around as people were recording. So that was a nice bonus for the suppliers. And then after the fact, we're giving those suppliers the snips of their videos. So if they want to take them and post them to their social pages or use them on any of their virtual platforms, they can certainly do that as well. So it will be nice to see what the feedback is, and once they get them posted, if their customers are seeing them as well. We did have some comments on the social feeds as we were going live from distributors thanking us for doing this. It feels like I'm there in person with you. And so that was wonderful that there were still some people who either weren't comfortable coming out or weren't able to come out. So we did get a number of comments along those lines. So that was nice.
Yeah, and the picture was really clear. I know Brandon was helping MC. He was kind of the puppet master behind making sure all the technology worked, but you did interview some people with some food products, and I was sitting here on my computer screen salivating like, have I eaten lunch yet? I don't know, but I really want an Oreo. I really need
They
some
were
chocolate.
right next door to us. Yes, everybody kept bringing us treats. It was wonderful. But no, I'm glad you brought up Brandon, because I mentioned that to him at the end of the show. I said, there is no way I could have ever pulled it off without him. It was so nice to have somebody behind the scenes, making sure all of the, things were showing up where they were supposed to be. So I just had to go out there and be the roving reporter, which was
just be the pretty face.
Yeah, that was it.
Someone's got to do it, right?
That's right. Somebody, and I like to talk. So, I mean, It was a win-win.
It is a win-win. So now that this one has happened, because this was kind of the test, it was new, never been done, at least not by us. And I haven't really seen it really be done before in other events. So this is something that we're kind of looking into for Promo Corner, Promo Show, to being able to offer other regional associations. So
Yes.
what would you tell another regional that's considering it? Are there certain things they should look for or know as a checklist before they wanted to reach out to us to help them with something along these lines?
Well, the nice thing that NEPA did was, and we were trying to figure it out as we went. We were trying to figure out what it was going to look like, what we could ask suppliers, to do. We asked them to dig into their pockets a little. We did have the suppliers that signed up, paid a nominal fee. We split that fee 50-50, half going to Promo Corner, half went to the regionals. And again, it didn't pay for us to be there. It didn't make us rich, but we kept it low because it was the first time and we weren't sure what the results were going to be. So we wanted to, definitely, pad people's pockets a little bit, but it was a very fair cost. We weren't sure if suppliers would even want to pay for it. And we had a bunch of them that did, which was great. So they were able to sign up as an add-on through NEPA's registration. And then we just set up a schedule, and NEPA reached out, let them know what time slot they would be in. And I touched base before their spots and let them know what to expect so they wouldn't be panicking. And that was it. So the big thing with NEPA did a great job in reaching out to the DCU center, where that's the convention center that they had it at. And our biggest concern was the bandwidth and the Wi-Fi. And they tell you that it's going to be good, but you cross your fingers and you hold your breath and you kind of hope. And they had a great connection. We had no delays. So that was one of the biggest concerns. So as long as you're at a venue that is used to doing that and can provide you with the Wi-Fi connection that you need, that's the biggest challenge.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I was going to ask about that if there was pre-testing, because, everyone's like, we have great bandwidth. And then you go to get on the internet and you're like, refresh. So
yeah. So that was the one thing too. That was our biggest concern. We did think about what would we do if we got into that position, and here we are, and we're supposed to go live, and we don't have a strong enough connection. So plan B was to record and then to post the videos after the fact if we had to. So we were glad we didn't have to go that route. There's a little more excitement with going live and being in the moment. So it worked out great.
Awesome. And I know we have had a few beginning conversations with some other regionals about being interested in something like this. So if anybody is interested or wants to kind of get more information about how we worked it, or if we would be available to come do something like that, they can reach out to Laurie or myself, or just easily email sales@promocorner.com. One of us will get it, someone will get it, and we'll get back to you. But do you have any other feedback or last minute?
So one of the big things too, so Brandon and I went live from the event with his Express Training Bites show, because that happened to be during the NEPA time slot. So that was one of the things that we were like, well, we have this prior commitment, so we're just going to do it live from the show floor. So that was great. And we did let them know that if they had certain things that they wanted to go live, that we were happy to host those for them. They weren't in a position that they were ready or wanted to do anything like that, but that's definitely another, service that we can offer. If somebody has a show that they do that they want it to go live, or if there's education that they want covered, those are the types of things that we can certainly, bring live to their virtual audiences if they're open to that. Those are the questions though. How much do you want to share live? People get worried. Is it going to affect attendance if they can get everything virtually? Personally, I think that there is such great benefit to being there in person that if people have the choice or the opportunity, that's going to be what they do, because it's those connections you make. So I really don't think that one's going to detract from the other. I think they're going to really work well together as we move forward.
Yeah, the people that want to go out and can go out will go out, but there's still public that can't do that for multiple reasons. And you run into with regionals, sometimes they're not in a centrally located place. So a distributor, might not have time to drive 4 hours one way for a 3-hour show. So that would be beneficial for them to just be able to go back and watch those feeds and get a little bit of it if they couldn't take the time to attend that day. And it would be someone that probably wouldn't have come anyway. So there's all press is good press. Is that what they say? No news is bad news. What's the saying?
I don't think that's it. No.
All press is good
news.
Press.
I think all news is bad news.
That's true.
These days.
Unless you're watching one of these news shows.
That's right. Then this news is always good news. But yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Laurie, for joining. And again, if anybody has questions about doing a hybrid event, reach out to Laurie and I, or you could just email sales@promocorner.com, and we'd be happy to discuss what your needs are and how we can work with you. And that's going to do it for us here on PromoAM. I'm Amelia Model, wishing you a happy PM. We'll see you next Monday.